Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Samsu Saputra from Universitas International Batam. Today I will present to you about international law of commerce and sales contract. So without further ado, here we go. This is the international sales contract of the solar cell between the seller and the buyer as the parties. The seller is the Shangrao Jinko Solar Import and Export Co Ltd, which is located in China and represented by Mr. Xu Chuchun as the BOD Deputy Chairman. And the buyer is Tozi Renewable Energy, which is located in Italy, which is represented by Andrea Moriarty Brandimarte as their CEO President Director at Tozi Renewable Energy. Hereafter, all of them will be called as the parties. So the first article in this contract is the goods, which we describe what is the goods that is being sold in this contract or being sold. So the first one is the subject to the terms agreed in this contract is a solar cell. As the specification is polycrystalline silicon solar cell solar module with the specification constructed with what and the conjunctive and anything, the cables, and also this is certified that all of the solar cell is certified with TUV, CE, CGS, and Inmetro product certificates. This solar panel should be also packaged with the standard export carton box and pallet. Product OEM and ODM custom also must be supported for the customer which buy the solar cell. So about this export carton, we will discuss it later. The third one is the quantity of the goods. Total quantity of the goods being sold here is 10,000 units with the tolerance percentage of 0.1% of the total delivery, which is 10 units. What is the meaning of tolerance percentage? This means that when we deliver 10,000 units of the solar cell, there is be not more than 10 units who is in bad shape, bad manner, or bad packages, but more than that, and that is the cost that must be paid by the seller. The next one is prior to packing and shipment, modules shall be arranged according to the power of 1 peak increment. This is to make the product not become stale or anything in the delivery period. This is another specification. The last one is packing. The packing of the product shall be suitable for ocean transportation and provide protection against dampness, humidity, rust, wear and tear, or shock. The seller shall be liable for any damage to the product caused by inadequate or improper packing during the shipment, provided, however, that the seller will not be liable for any damage to the product caused by or attributable to the carrier or by any other faction not within the seller control. The Article 2 of this contract is about delivery. The applicable delivery methods agreed between parties is in Customs 2020, which is CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. Place of delivery in the port of loading is Shanghai, China, and the port of destination is Ravenna, Italy. Date or period of delivery is 20 March 2022. The carrier address is included here, and in the case of a shipment by CIF, the seller shall inform the buyer the contacts of the forwarding agent and dispatch date of the relevant vessel by written notice within 2 working days after the date of shipment. So why all of this is included in the Article 2 of this contract? That is because the parties choose CIF as their delivery methods. What is CIF? CIF means cost, insurance, and freight. All of the price of that become the responsibility of the seller. So all of the costs, insurance, and freight become the responsibility of the seller until the goods is delivered at the port of destination Ravenna, Italy. That is why the buyer says that the seller must confirm to the buyer, the forwarding agent, the dispatch date of the relevant vessel, because when the goods arrive at the port of destination, which is Ravenna, Italy, all of the responsibility shift to the seller, shift to the buyer, not to the seller anymore. So the Article 3 is about the price. The total price is euro 7,350. Price per unit is of course 0.735 euro. amount in number, that is the amount of the solar cell by the buyer is 10,000 unit. The currency used is euro. Method for determining the price is the average price per watt per unit of the total contract shall remain at the euro 0.000021. Why method for determining the price is included here? Because in the next article we will talk about it. The Article 4 is about payment condition. The means of payment agreed between the parties is, of course, letter of credit. The opening bank is Bank of China. And the beneficiary, of course, Shangrao Jinko Solar Import and Export Co. Ltd. Because they are the buyer. There is also the beneficiary address and beneficiary bank account for the buyer information. Time for payment. The buyer shall provide the payment at least 30 days before the agreed date of delivery or the beginning of the agreed delivery period specified at Article 2 of this contract, unless the parties specify hereafter some other date. Either a first demand bank guarantee subject to the uniform rules for demand guarantees published by the International Chamber of Commerce or ICC, or a standby letter of credit subject either to such rules or to the uniform custom and practice for documentary credits published by the ICC, in either case issued by a reputable bank. Terms of payment. Before arrival, the payment is 20% of the total contract price set out in Article 3. The payment is paid in advance by LC within 5 working days from the receipt of commercial invoice and bank guarantee by the total contract volume. At arrival time, the payment of the remaining 80% of the balance shall be paid by down payment against bill of lading at arrival in buyer spot. And also the total payment or the total purchase price for each shipment will be calculated based on the nominal power of the solar modules as recorded on the commercial invoice. What is this Article 4 mean? This Article 4 mean is because the delivery method agreed between the party is CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. So because the buyer covers anything in the cost, in the insurance, and also the freight, so the buyer must pay at least 20% of the total contract price, so the seller can cover all of the cost, insurance, and freight. But at arrival times, which is when the goods is already delivered to Italy, the seller also do not have any problem. So that is why the buyer must pay the remaining 80% of the balance after they are checking the goods. Because after the goods arrived at Italy, the goods is not becomes the problem of the seller. It's already in the hand of the buyer, so the buyer will cover anything that's due to it. And there is also specified that the total payment. The total purchase is calculated based on nominal power of the solar modules recorded on the commercial invoice. What is this means? This means that if when the buyer accept the goods and there is also additional payment from the freight, additional payment from insurance or additional cost, that is not become the problem of the buyer. Why? Because the agreed method of this delivery is CIF. After the buyer pay all of the unit of the goods, that is all that he has to pay. All of the other problem, other additional value or anything about cost, insurance, and freight, all of that becomes the problem of the seller, not the buyer. The Article 5 of this contract is about document. The seller shall make available to the buyer or shall present to the bank specified by the buyer the following documents. The first one is commercial invoice. The next is packing list, insurance document, certificate of origin, certificate of inspection, and also custom documents. In addition, the seller shall make available to the buyer the documents indicated in the ICC Incoterms the parties have selected under Article 2 of this contract, which is CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. Why all of this is important for the seller to present to the buyer? That is because if all of this document is not presented to the buyer, then the buyer cannot issue the letter of credit for this goods payment. The next one is non-performance of the buyer's obligation to pay the price at the agreed time. If the buyer fails to pay the price at the agreed time, the seller shall fix to the buyer an additional 7 days for performance of payment. If the buyer fails to pay the price at the expiration of the additional period, The seller may declare this contract avoided in accordance with Article 11 of this contract. If the buyer fails to pay the price at the agreed time, the seller shall in any event be entitled, without limiting any other rights it may have, to charge the interest on the outstanding amount, both before and after any judgment, at the rate of 10% per annum or per year. That is, if the buyers cannot pay the price of this contract, then they will be charged by 10% per year of their incapability. The next article, which is Article 7, is about non-performance of the seller obligation to deliver the goods at the agreed time. This means that if the seller fails to deliver the goods at the agreed time, the buyer shall fix also to the seller an additional 7 days for performance of delivery. If the seller fails to deliver the goods at the expiration of the additional period, the buyer may declare this contract avoided in accordance with Article 11 of this contract. If the seller is in delay in delivery of any goods as provided in this contract, the buyer is entitled to claim liquidated damages equal to 0.5% of the price of the goods for each complete day of delay from the agreed date of delivery or the last day of the agreed delivery period. But if notified, then the day becomes the day of the notification. Liquidated damages for delay shall not exceed 10% of the price of the delayed goods. Liquidated damages for the delay do not preclude avoidance of contract in accordance with Article 11. What does this Article 7 means? Article 7 means that if the sellers fail to deliver the goods at the agreed time, so after the 7 times fixed by the buyer to retrieve the goods, if the goods still not achieved in the additional 7 days, then the seller must pay the price equal to 0.5 the price of the goods, but not exceed 10% of the price of the delayed goods. And also, if they not notified the late to the buyer, then they must also pay additional price. What is that? That is, the price will be start at the time of their non-performance. But if they notify the buyer, then the price will be started at the time of the notification. Article 8 is about lack of conformity. There is a lack of conformity where the seller has delivered part only a larger or smaller quantity of the goods than the specified. The goods which are not of those which is this contract relates. The goods lack the quality or characteristics specified. The goods did not possess the quality or characteristics specified. The goods not possess the quality or characteristics for the particular purpose specified in this contract, or the good is not contained or packaged in the manner specified in the article number 1. If any of this is unsatisfied, then the seller shall be liable under paragraph 8.1 of this article for any lack of conformity that exists at the time when the risk passed to the buyer, even though the lack of conformity becomes apparent only after that time. The seller shall not be liable under paragraph 8.1 of this article if this lack of conformity at the time of conclusion of this contract the buyer knew or have not been unaware of such lack of conformity. The buyer shall examine the goods or cause them to be examined, and then within 7 days after the buyer has discovered or ought to have discovered the lack of conformity, then the buyer loses the right to rely on a lack of conformity if he fails to notify the seller at the period of 2 years from the date of which the goods were actually handed over to the buyer. The next one is, when the buyer has given due notice of non-conformity to the seller, the buyer may, at his option 1, require the seller to deliver any missing quantity of the goods, with additional or without any additional expense to the buyer. Require the seller to repair the goods, or also reduce the price in the same proportion as the value that the goods actually delivered had at the time of the delivery versus to the value that conforming goods will have had at that time. The buyer may not reduce the price if the seller replaces the goods with conforming goods or repair the goods in accordance with paragraph 8.5.3 and 8.5.3 of this article, or if the buyer refuses to accept such performance by the seller. The last one is declare this contract avoided in accordance with Article 11 of this contract. The buyer may also claim damage as provided for in Article 14 of the contract. This lack of conformity covers that if the goods delivered is not suitable or not in accordance with the contract, then there is an additional option for the buyer of what to do to the seller or what to do to the goods. This Article 9 of expertise procedure is the practical continuation of the previous article, which is the lack of conformity. Expertise procedure means that in the event that the buyer is not satisfied with the quality of the goods because of lack of conformity, it must inform the seller for such dissatisfaction as soon as possible and even within 7 days of delivery of the goods. The buyer shall immediately apply to an institution for an expert to be appointed. If no institution has been specified by the parties, which is in this contract, then the buyer shall immediately proceed to appoint an expert. An expert appointed shall be independent of the parties. The expert then shall consider and report to the parties on the alleged non-conformity of the goods. For this purpose, the expert shall be entitled to inspect the entire goods or samples taken under his supervision, and may carry out any test which he considers to be appropriate. The expert also shall submit his report to both parties by registered post. The report shall be final and binding upon the parties unless, within 7 days after it has been received, it is challenged by one of the parties by the commencement of proceeding in accordance with the dispute resolution procedure provided under this contract. The expert fees and expense shall be borne by the buyer. That means that all of the expert fees is paid by the buyer. And this is a pending payment, which is the completion of the payment is waived on the buyer, but shall be reimbursed to the buyer by the seller if the non-conformity of the good is established or is finalized. The Article 10 of this contract, that is transfers of property, means that this delivery must be free of any third person, and the specification is as below. The seller must deliver to the buyer the goods specified in Article 1 of this contract free from any rights or claim of a third person. And if the goods specified in Article 1 of this contract are subject to a right or claim of a third person, the buyer shall notify the seller of such right or claim and request that the other goods, free from all rights and claims of the third person, be delivered to it by the seller without any additional expense to the buyer, because that is the problem of the seller. Alternative, the buyer may also request to the seller to free the goods from all rights and claim of third person within 60 days without any additional expense to the buyer. If the seller complies with the request made in the Article 10.2 of this article, then the buyer nevertheless suffers a loss. The buyer may claim damage in accordance with Article 14 of this contract. If the seller fails to comply with the request made under paragraph 10.2 of this article, the buyer may declare this contract avoided in accordance with Article 11 of this contract and claim damage in accordance with Article 14.3 of this contract. If the buyer does not declare this contract avoided, he shall have the right to claim damage in accordance with Article 14.3 of this contract. The buyer shall lose his right to declare this contract avoided if he fails to notify the seller as provided in paragraph 10.2 of this article within 7 days from the moment when he became aware or ought to have become aware of the right or claim of the third person in respect of the goods. The seller shall not be liable under this article if the existence of right or claim of a third person on the goods was notified to the buyer at the time of the conclusion of this contract, and the buyer agreed to take the goods subject to such right or claim. And last, no action or for legal defects can be taken by the buyer after 1 year from the date when the buyer become aware of the existence or right or claim of a third person on the goods. This means that if these delivered goods have a third party problem in this, then this is become the problem of the buyer, become the problem of the seller, and the buyer have the rights within this Article 10 to what to do to the seller. But if no action is taken in 1 year, then all of the rights become loose. Article 11 to Article 13 on this contract is about when there is a problem in the goods. The Article 11 means that avoidance of contract. That means that there is two things. In the first one, there is a breach of contract where a party fails to perform any of its obligation under this contract, including defective, partial, or late performance. In case of this problem is met, then the aggrieved party shall notice to the other party and fix additional 30 days for performance to fix this problem. During this additional period of time, the aggrieved party may withhold performance of its own reciprocal obligation and may claim damage but may not declare this contract avoided. If the other party fails to perform its obligation within the additional period of time, the aggrieved party may declare this contract avoided. But the problem arises when the Article 11.2 in this contract is met. There is a fundamental breach of the contract. When this fundamental breach of contract is met, then according to this contract, the aggrieved party may declare this contract avoided without fixing an additional period of time for performance to the other party, because this is a serious problem. A declaration of avoidance of this contract is effective only if made by notice to the other party. Then, because of this avoidance of contract, there is also Article 12, which is effect of avoidance in general. What does avoidance means? Avoidance means this contract releases both parties from their obligation to effect and to achieve future performance, subject to any damage that may do. Avoidance of this contract does not preclude a claim for damages for non-performance. And also, avoidance of this contract does not affect any provision in this contract for the settlement of disputes or any other term of this contract that is separate even after avoidance. The Article 13 is about restitution. This means that on avoidance of this contract, either party may claim restitution of whatever it has supplied, provided that such party concurrently makes restitution of whatever it has received. If both parties are required to make restitution, they shall do so currently. This Article 14 of damages is the continuation of the previous article, which is this article provide that if there is condition that met the avoidance of contract or breach of contract in the previous article, then this is what we can do. This is what we can claim for the damages and also for the payment when the condition of avoidance of contract is met. But there is also a barrier, which is mitigation of harm. That means that a party who relies on a breach of this contract must take such measures as are reasonable in the circumstances to mitigate the loss, including loss of profit resulting from the breach. If it fails to take such measures, the party in breach may claim a reduction in the damage in the amount by which the loss have been mitigated. This means that if the avoidance of contract or the breach of contract is met, then the parties shall also mitigate the harm, because if they are mad that they are not take such measures, then they must pay more for their negligence. The next article is about unforeseeable phenomena, which is Article 16, change of circumstances, hardship. This means that when the performance of this contract becomes more onerous or problematic for one of the parties, the party is nevertheless bound to perform its obligation, subject to the following provision on change of circumstances or the hardships by the following. But if the parties fail to reach agreement on the requested revision within 7 days, the party may resort to dispute resolution procedure provided in the Article 22 of this contract. However, the tribunal shall have the power to make any revision to this contract if it finds just and equitable in the circumstances, or to terminate this contract at a date and on term to be fixed. The next article is force majeure, or excuse for non-performance. Force majeure means war, emergency, accident, fire, or anything which affected the party and proof was beyond its control and that it could not reasonably be expected to have taken the impediment into account at the time of the conclusion of this contract or to have avoided or overcome it or its consequences. Then the party have at least 3 months to clear this contract. If this contract is still not resolved within 3 months, then the party is can negotiate it in good faith and use their best endeavors to agree upon such amendments to this contract to make the contract is clear. The Article 18 is about entire agreement. This contract is all of the agreement in this contract, which means that there is no other contract or there is no additional attachment of this contract. All of anything mentioned in this contract is all ruled by this contract. The next article is Article 19 about notice. Any notice that is mentioned in this contract shall be delivered in writing, but also can be delivered by email. And the details of the address for writing or the address for the email is included in the Article 19. And then the Article 20. The Article 20 is effect of invalid or unenforceable provision. If in any condition that this contract is decided as void or null by the court or any competent or any other competent authority to be invalid or unenforceable in a whole or in a part, then this contract is still be valid in the other provision that is not being decided by the court or any other competent authorities. That means that any judgment or any rules will only affect the content that is being judged. The other content that is not being ruled or being judged will not be affected by the judgment. The last one is authorization, Article 21. This contract will be effective until all of the parties receive the following: Bank of China letter of credit promissory settlement, China government industrial export license, and Italy government industrial import license. The relevant party shall use all reasonable efforts on its part to obtain such authorization and shall notify the other party promptly of any difficulty encountered. Article 22 is about dispute resolution. Any dispute, controversy, or claim arising out of or relating to this contract, including its conclusion, interpretation, performance, breach, termination, invalidity, question, shall be finally settled under the rules of Italy law by sole arbitrator appointed in accordance with the said rules. The place of arbitration shall be European Arbitration Chamber. The language of the arbitration shall be in English. The last one of this contract is the Article 23, applicable law and guiding principles. Questions relating to this contract that are not settled by the provision contained in the contract itself shall be governed by the United Nations Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods, Vienna Convention of 1980, hereafter referred to as CISG. And the next, question not covered by the CISG shall be governed by the UNIDROIT Principles of International Commerce Contract, hereafter referred to as UNIDROIT Principle. And to the extent that such questions are not covered by the UNIDROIT Principles, by reference to the applicable national law of the country where the buyer has his place of business, which is the rules of Italy law, shall govern the question. This contract shall be performed in a spirit of good faith and fair dealing, of course. This sales contract is entered into force on 20 January 2022 in Shanghai. People's Republic of China, seller Mr. Xu Chuchun as the Deputy Chairman of Shanghai Jinko Solar Import and Export Co. Ltd. And the buyer is Andrea M. Brandimarte, President Director of Tozi Renewable Energy SPA. This is all from me, and thank you very much to listen of all this contract problem and resolution. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time.